Hello boys and girls, welcome to BenchART. I'm for Classic, and for today what I do have in here is King of Seas, a game developed by 3D Clouds and using Android version 4. So in this video I will be playing this game at 720p median settings with a mere Intel UHD 620. So let's get all the stuff out of the way. This is the results that I got in multiple different settings. So low settings provides a 60 frames per second experience, median settings provides an experience in between the 35 to 43 frames per second, and if you go with the high settings you can be damn sure that your game will drop under 30. So it's just for you to know. In my opinion, you either play the game at 720p median or you either play the game at 720p low. And I decided to go with median, and I will explain my decision just right ahead. But first, this is the requirements of the game, and as usual, there is no mention in here for any Intel GPU. But the thing is, it does run with an Intel GPU. And as you know on my videos, you can see right now that the frame rate is locked to 30 frames per second. I usually do this while recording the videos with an Intel GPU because I tend to suffer issues with overheating, but without blocking the frame rate and without recording, those are the results that you can expect if you have this GPU. So I have decided to focus more in the 30 frames per second experience, because the graphics difference between low and median, it is pretty huge. So on the low settings you don't get anything, and on the median settings you get shadows, despite they are kind of unstable and flickers all over the place, and you still get tons of effects that make sense for you to have, like particles, trails from the boats. So yeah, I thought that median settings was obviously better than those settings regarding graphics, but especially because 30 frames per second for this game, it is more than enough. King of Seas, it is a slow game and it is a single player game. So if I can enjoy better graphics while sacrificing the frame rate for this game, I don't see any issue with that, since this is a very slow game. So you might be wondering why I'm testing this. I was going to test this because I saw that this game was about to be released today, and there was a demo available on Steam. So if you want to try the demo version on Steam, it's there, it's available. And I wanted to try out the game, but suddenly I noticed that I had an email from Matthew from 3D Clouds, the developer team, offered me the possibility to try out the full game, and obviously I didn't refuse that. So a huge shout outs to Matthew, big thanks for you to provide me the copy of the game. Hope you do enjoy the video. And now that we talked about the performance, I think it's finally time to talk a little bit about the game. Keep in mind that I have only played like 1 to 2 hours. This is not a review YouTube's channel, right? But based on my experience with 1 to 2 hours, this is what I found out. I always recommend you, if you want to know about this game more, just go and watch specialized video game reviews instead of watching my channel. But still, this is my 2 cents about the game. So let's hear it. So King of Seas, it is pretty much Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but on isometric view, but with much more stuff in it. Alright, so first of all, the story. You start as a son of a king, where somebody asks you to do a deliver to a certain island, and while you spend overnight on that island before bringing your ship back to your own islands, the king is killed, and you are accused of killing the king, and they took your ship down, they killed your crew, and they thought they killed you, but he didn't die, and some pirates noticed that, so they rescue you, and that's about it. So you start your own game with this story, and then you start to work for the pirates, which is a big difference, and trying to understand what happens to you in the past. I don't think that the story will be the selling point for this game. Honestly, the story is just kind of a placeholder for you to have a kind of excuse for you to belong to the pirates, and in my opinion it should be pretty much about it. So this game, it is essentially an RPG, alright, an RPG where you can tune in your boat, improve your boat, level up, and there is a map which is procedural generated, which means that if your friends have the same game, the map won't be equal to your friends' maps. So which is quite interesting. Despite the story, it is the same. The map will be different. There is a dynamic world out there, so everything, the routes change. The navigation system, so the weather just changed. There is a day and night cycle, so when there is a storm, when there is raining, it can damage your ship if your ship it isn't really prepared to face the waves of the storm and stuff like that. But essentially there are tons of stuff with this game, so power-ups, improvements to your own boat, and it is a very relaxing game, because this is a very slow game where you spend, as you can see in here, tons of time traversing your ship, and especially if the wind it is against you, so you move even more slower. So yeah, it's a slow game, very relaxing game, but essentially it is an RPG. You take quests, side quests, main quests, you improve your boat, you earn skills and perks that you can use while you unlock the story and the map, right? So the combat system should be pretty much the same throughout the game. It just changes the boats and the power-ups, and pretty much that's about it. So there is also a trading system inside this game, so you can go to a dock and buy wood, which might be abundant on that island, and you bring it to another island that doesn't have wood, and you sell it for a higher price, earning more money. There is also obviously treasure hunt, and above all there is multiple difficult levels inside this game. So I think it is 5 different difficult levels which you can choose. So in case you finish the game and you found it easy, you can always start with a higher difficulty. So I think the game it is rather interesting. You can find this game on Steam for $24.99. I think it worth the price, honestly, if you like this kind of games. But this is no AAA title, alright? You should know that. That is... the story leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. I think this is not even the main focus, so I'm not even sure if I can criticize the story because of that same reason. Because the story is not really the big deal, but as you can see, there is these conversation chats. There is no voice acting in here, but there is these conversation chats that explains you, like a tutorial, like what you can do, and a little bit about the story. But the main thing about this game, it's really the RPG system, the unlocking of the map, and that's pretty much where the essence of this game is. So now that I have talked about everything that I know about King of Seas, hope you keep enjoying the rest of the gameplay, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.